Today I'm sharing the only chords you really need to know to play most songs on piano. Chord knowledge is an essential musicianship skill because it forms the basis of harmony, or what chords sound good together and why. In this video, I'll show you what chords make up the basis for most songs on piano and why they sound so good. This series features teaching videos on musicianship skills that can help your overall growth as a musician. I'm going to share 3 essential chords that you need to get started playing your favorite songs on piano. After that, I'm going to share a special bonus chord that's one of my favorites. First of all, I want to let you know that you don't need any music theory experience to apply these chords to your playing today. Before I get into the actual chords, I just want to explain for those of you who aren't sure what a chord is. The simplest type of chord is a triad, and that is made up of 3 notes that have skips in between the notes. So for example, C, E, and G is a C major triad. Those are the types of chords we're going to be talking about today. The chords that I'm going to show you are all major chords in C major. You can play the same types of chords in other keys, but for today, everything that I'm going to play is in C major and related back to C, which is the tonic of C major. Because songs usually start and end on the tonic, the most important chord in a song is usually the tonic, and that means chord 1, and in C major, it starts with C. So that chord is C, E, G. It's the most important chord because it's where all of the music wants to resolve and come home to. Here's a song that uses only the 1 or tonic chord throughout the whole piece. The next essential chord that you need to know is the 5 chord or the dominant chord. And in C major, this chord starts on G. So the chord is G, B, D. This chord is important because it creates tension when the music moves away from the tonic to the dominant. It wants to come back to the tonic because it contains an unstable note, which is the 7th note of the scale. Now, if you don't have music theory background, no problem, that is fine. All you need to know is that your ear wants that chord to resolve to something, and it usually resolves back to 1. So you can hear, if I leave off on the 5, it sounds unfinished, and it wants to go back to the tonic, like that. That's why the dominant chord is so important. It adds interest, tension, and the 1 provides the resolution for that. The 3rd essential chord I'm going to tell you about is the 4 chord. In C major, this is an F chord, so F, A, C. It's also called the subdominant chord. Because it shares a note with a tonic, it moves easily away and back to it, so it can add interest to the music and a different sort of major sound, without sounding too much like 1 all the time. The chord 4 also moves really well to 5. So now with those 3 chords together, you've got a really nice mix of interesting chords that move away from the tonic, create tension, and then can come back to the tonic to resolve the song. The song 3 Little Birds by Bob Marley is a great example of a song that uses 1, 4, and 5. See if you can hear the chord changes. Have you ever used chords to play your favorite songs? Whether it was by ear or maybe using a lead sheet, let me know in the comments. And now for the bonus chord. It's one of my favorites. This chord, unlike the first 3, is a minor chord, and I like to call it a color chord because it just adds so much depth and emotion to the song. And that chord is a 6 chord. In C major, that would be A, C, and E. It would sound like this. An example of a song that uses this 6th chord along with 1, 4, and 5 is Let It Be by the Beatles. The chords we learned today were C major, G major, F major, and A minor. So 1, 5, 4, and 6. I encourage you to play around with these chords on the piano and familiarize yourself with their sound. Try playing them in different orders and see if they sound like any songs that you already know. And if you love the idea of playing by ear and want some simple tips for getting started, watch this video on simple ear training tips right here.